Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon or good evening depending on when and where you're watching this, and welcome back to the Knit, Crochet, Read, Repeat podcast channel. My name is Kirby and I am coming to you from Paisley, which is just a stone's throw away from Glasgow in Scotland. I've been doing a little vlog today, and when you vlog you don't always talk that much, and so sitting down after running around the house trying to gather up all your projects, because apparently I have them in nearly every room in this flat, you kind of get a little winded. And then add on top of that either my asthma is a little bad at the moment, or as the doctor suspects, I am quite anemic. And apparently a symptom of being anemic is kind of like shortness of breath. So straight off the bat, I'd like to apologise if the microphone picks up a lot of my breathing. And second of all, because I know sometimes like the noise of breathing can be like really irritating. And then second of all, sorry, but also not sorry if I need to take a few more breaks and just breathe. So it's been a while. I have been somewhat enjoying doing my Monday vlogs. I am, as I said, I'm working on one, even though I'm doing a podcast today. I've done some good things today, so watch that vlog if you are interested. But I felt I needed to do a proper sit down and do an overview of some of my projects I've been working on and give an update on those. So without further ado, we're just going to jump straight in. I have one finished object which has not been blocked, even though I think it's been finished for like 2 weeks now. And that is my Anchors sweater My Size, which is a pattern by Petite Knits, or Petite Knit. It's very stretchy on the front because of the 1x1 rib. I only managed 3/4 length sleeves, just about 3/4 length, and I used up all of the yarn. I got it to a length I was really happy with, so I could have made the sleeves longer, but I would rather sacrifice sleeve length than body length, because I am of a bigger body. Sometimes I feel more confident than other times, and I have nothing against cropped garments. I have a couple. I absolutely love my first rendition of the Mount Pleasant, which is very cropped for me. And I love that. Like, I wear that over dresses. I love that top. I was going to say sweater, but it's not a sweater. But for this, I was not willing to compromise on the length of the sweater. I was more than happy to compromise on the length of the sleeves, because personally, I roll my sleeves up all the time. So it's done. Took me a wee bit longer than I would maybe have liked, because I had convinced myself I needed to block this before I could decide where to split for the sleeves. And honestly, I was just trying on all the time. Like, I've tried this sweater on more than I think I've ever tried any garment on before, whilst in the knitting process. So I do not have a ball band. I want to say it's like Mirasol, and this is an alpaca base yarn. So lovely. It's so soft, so squishy, like really squeezy squishy, and just so soft. There is a slight halo to this yarn because of the alpaca content, but honestly, this is delightful. I do need to block it. I don't plan on like stretching it out. I just want the stitches to relax a bit. I do think this jumper will pull like crazy, specifically under the arms and on the side, but I'm okay with that. And I have this yarn in red with the exact same quantity, and honestly I might just make like a really plain raglan in the same needle size. So I knit this on 5mm needles. I'd done a gauge swatch, but I'd done a gauge swatch how I used to do a gauge swatch, which is knit it, kind of flatten it out, dry, not wet, not soaked, nothing. You've just knit it, you've not even bound it off because you're not going to cut the yarn. It's still attached to a needle, a cable, whatever. You kind of smooth it out, you put a ruler on it and then you count. And then you frog it and you use every bit of yarn that you can. That's how I gauge swatched for this. So I knew very early on with this yarn that I was never going to get gauge with the recommended needles. And so eventually I kind of found that a 5mm needle was going to work great for me. And that's exactly what I done. And then I think I would need to go back to like one of my previous Monday vlogs, but I think the ribbing I done on 4.5. Don't quote me on that, but if you have watched my vlogs, I did talk about this project a lot. So it's done. Very, very pleased. I do need to get it blocked, so I need to just make time. Like, not find time, just make time to do it. Sorry, I'm glancing at the clock to be like, can I squeeze it in today? I can't quite make out the time. I think it's like 3:05. Yeah, that would be about right, because I had lunch at 2. So anchor sweater my size by Petite Knit, done. I do still have all like my stitch markers in place. Okay, that's the only finished object I have, but I have a good number of whips, and 2 of them I'm not going to show off in this video, and they're both crochet, so my crochet content is going to be really small in this video, but I've been crocheting up a storm. Actually, I've got 2 crochet projects I can show off. Just need to dig one out. The other 2 are kind of like secret projects and will be coming out down the line when I'm halfway through one and when I am completely done with the other one. But for now, the crochet project, one of the 2 crochet projects I can show off is this scrappy blanket. I've started row 2. I'm not saying this is going to be like my finished length. Like, that's the great thing about crochet. Like, you could unravel a bind off in knitting, but one of the great things about crochet is that you can just secure your stitch and then start your second row, which is exactly what I done. So started my second row. I've not secured this row to here because I want to change yarn, because I'm very almost out of this one. But this is just a linen stitch scrappy blanket with scraps of yarn not big enough for my main crochet scrappy project, which is going to remain a surprise until it's completely done, because it's going to be a gift. But yeah, some of these, like, if we look at this green line here, like, some of these scraps are minuscule, and then other ones, what's my biggest scrap? I think it's this one here. Like, whereas this one, that's quite a sizable scrap compared to some of the other ones. There is absolutely no rhyme or reason to this. And at the moment, I have an inkling to gift this to my sister, but I honestly don't even know if she would like something like a scrappy project. Some people just don't agree with scrappy projects, like they don't like them. So I'm I will not be offended if she doesn't want it, but if she does, then amazing. But this is going to take me a long time to complete. This is, if she gets this within a year, I'll be surprised. But basically, I have a bag of scraps that I am using for another project. And when these just get too small or they were used too much in that project, I then bung them in here. So it's going to be a very, very long-term project because of that fact, because I'm working with scraps that are probably under 3 grams. And I don't have a lot of those, believe it or not. So that might look like a lot, but some of this is going into another project first, which has a higher priority. Excuse me. That'd be a great time to take a drink. Okay, so should add, I'm making this project up as I go along. I became slightly obsessed with the linen stitch, and I decided that the main project I'm doing, which has linen stitch, requires too much like cutting and precision and changing yarns and then like changing direction and stuff like that. It's a bit more involved, whereas I just wanted something that really showed off the stitch in general. But like there's something about this stitch in fingering weight held double done at a 3.75 millimeter hook or size F. There's just something about it. It's very squishy. It's dense, but not horrifically heavy, or at least with one and a tiny bit column, it's not heavy. I reckon when it is done, this might actually be more like a weighted blanket than anything, which might be another reason my sister will not want it. But we will see, we will see. I've not even told her that I'm doing this, so if you're watching, surprise! You'll probably not see this for like 5 years. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. I think it's going to work out fantastic. If she doesn't like it because of the scrappiness, that's absolutely fine. I'll not be annoyed. Like, I freaking love blankets. Like, let's do a quick count. 1 crochet one, 1 quilted one that my gran done, 3 shop bought ones, and 1 my mum knitted. All in this room. Then there's my Advent one from last year, which I would like to make bigger. There's Oogie's blanket. That doesn't really count. It's so small. I need to make her another one. And then I'm pretty sure in one of the Calax units, there's at least 3 other blankets in there, but some of them are shop bought. But my other crochet blanket, I'm trying to keep away from Oogie because I want it for winter. She can sleep on the other one. She can sleep on the Aran Weight Wave one, but I don't want her to sleep on the Granny Stitch fingering weight sock blanket that took me like 3 years to make. Oh, I nearly threw my iPad to the floor. Let's get that secure. Okay, next crochet project. Let's not put this away because I actually need the name of this next pattern because I only started it last night. Right, I'm on page row 15. Y'all remember that because this is a very involved pattern. So I started last night the Lost in Time shawl by Joanna Lindell, which is Miho Crochet, and it is a gorgeous shawl. Gorgeous, like, sorry. Oh. It's a gorgeous crochet shawl. It is free on Ravelry. I have seen this pattern constantly. Like, it's normally always like either the top of the hot right now or the most projects. Right, let me go back and mark this at row 15 so I don't forget. 15. There we go. So Lost in Time started it only last night. I needed a non-knitting project. My wrists were particularly sore last night. I was getting a lot of pins and needles, and I just needed something to do with my hands that wasn't knitting. And so I tested crochet, and it turns out no pins and needles. So that's a win. This is in quite dark yarn, so we'll hold it closer. But I don't know, there's something about this pattern that makes me feel like this might be the most intricate thing I have ever made in crochet. And I know that sounds crazy because all it is, and I work in US terms, all it is double crochets and single crochets so far. And then it's just variations of popcorn stitch, front post, back post. Like, there's nothing, as a non-beginner, there's nothing outrageously crazy about this pattern. Like, I've been crocheting for years. I've been crocheting since I was 18, 19? Yeah, we'll go with 18 or 19. I was going to say 16, but that's not right. That's when I started jewellery making. But yeah, like, there's just something, it looks really intricate. And that's what is blowing my mind right now, is that I've never made something like this. My go-to for crochet is normally always the granny stitch. So something very simple, very easy, mindless sometimes, like, whereas this, I need to sit and think about it, I need to pay attention, and it just looks gorgeous. Now, I don't know what the yarn is. It's one of these big cotton, or like maybe all cotton, half cotton, a lot of content, a lot of cotton content. Wow, that's hard to say. But this was, we'll go with gifted. My mum gave me this ball of yarn. She didn't like how thin it was, and she asked if there was anything I could hold it with, and I thought of some of my hand spun yarn, but then I don't know, I was just sitting last night, I was getting really frustrated with like my wrists and the pins and needles, and I just thought, screw it, on to Ravelry, what can I make that is a free pattern? And the Lost in Time shawl came up, and it's going to go to this. Yeah, I love that. I only discovered this last night, that there's a easy start tab, and I could have started on like this really like cream color, but I don't know, I'm kind of glad I started on the darker color. I think it will look quite nice going from the dark to the light. And I'm doing this on a 4mm hook. I did start it on a 3, and it was okay, but the pattern specifically calls for a 4. But the pattern also says that you can do it in any weight of yarn with any hook size that you find suitable, and that gauge does not matter. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to try it on a 4, because the 3 was very smooshed, not tight, but smooshed. Whereas this is kind of loose, free-flowing, and just quite a nice fabric in general. And given the size of the shawl, I feel like if I'd gone with the 3, it'd be very condensed, and it could come out really heavy. And I know that sounds crazy because it's going to be the same amount of wool. But it is what it is. I'll move to a 4. I'm very happy with it, and I'm hoping to get that picked up soon. But it's something where I can't work on it if Scott's playing a game that I'm watching. I can't work on it if there's something on the TV I want to watch. And I don't know if I could work on it whilst listening to an audiobook, because I do need to pay attention. I need to be able to read and pay attention to the pattern and then pay attention to what I'm actually doing with the work. So we'll see how that one plays out. But I don't know, I'm just itching to work on it more. Oh, okay. So technically that's all the crochet out of the way. Again, I technically have 2 other projects, but they are, for now, top secret. Okay. I will go with the sock. It's sitting right in front of me. This sock has not been receiving much love recently for no other reason than I have other very interesting projects on the go at the moment. This is my For the Love of Yarn monthly sock club yarn. I have picked the 100-gram skein and then the 20-gram mini skein to accompany it. This is the Sanderson Sister colorway. This was July's colorway. And I love it. Like, I really, really love this. And I honestly think I just need to put this back on my desk. It's been in my bag for like to go knitting, but I ain't been going out. I have been homebody for like the last couple of weeks. So it ain't been getting any love on it when out and about, because I haven't been out and about. So I really do think I need to put this back on my desk and just try and find some time to get a couple of rows in during the working week, especially if there's any meetings or calls I need to be on where I don't need to actually be like typing or doing anything. So I think I'll be putting this back up on my desk as of today for tomorrow onwards. And hopefully hopefully I can get this finished, because it's such a gorgeous colour. Those pinks, purples and oranges, and then match that with like this kind of neon purple. Like, I know it's not everyone's colour, like the neons and the brighter colours, but I really, really love this colour. I was worried when I joined a yarn club, like a mystery yarn club, because I've been burned. Like, I got a blanket club before and it started great, and then like maybe 5 months in it got really bad, and I haven't touched that yarn. I'm gonna do something with it because I feel like it's a waste if I don't, and I probably could sell it, but I don't know, like, I know other people that got that blanket club and I know they didn't really enjoy it, so it doesn't give me hopes that it would sell very well. So I think I might just chuck it into a blanket and hope for the best. Okay, so 1 blanket, 2 blankets. We'll go with the brioche. This is the Rowley shawl, which is a 2-colour brioche shawl by, I got the majority of the name in my head. Amelie Designs. Marie Amelie? That's not right. Not in my recents downloads. Not in my downloads either. Shared. iCloud Drive? I'll find it. It's in here somewhere because I always use it for my iPad. My iPad? Oh goodness. Right, I already know it's not in the downloads. It's not in recents. Oh, it is in recents. Sneaky. Okay, so Marie Amelie Designs. Oh, I was so close. And this is a 2-colour, rather large shawl. And I picked this up, oof, maybe like 3 weeks ago, and I got 2 sections done. So from here, I got 2 sections done. I've got my next lifeline ready to go because I was putting some good progress on this. Because you got to remember that you're working each row twice because it's 2-color brioche. Because it's brioche. And I'm getting smaller. I have dramatically reduced some stitches. Honestly, if I didn't have other projects where I'm just like, I have to do this, I would be trying to rattle through this and get this finished because this is going to be amazing when it's done. Oh, it's just, even right now, just having that around my neck, I can feel how warm this is going to be. And it will benefit greatly from a good block. And it will grow for sure. And when I block this, I'm going to be so precise about it because it's just going to look so stinking good. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm sitting with this section alone, right? So this is how it's looking. But could you just imagine this? A wee bit extra length, right? And then all that just blocked out properly so that you can see all that detail. Because it's just all smooshed up right now. And then again, when you move up to like, just look how good that opens out compared to just how it sits. Like, yeah, it looks good like that, but just with that little bit of blocking, it's going to look so good. And then when I take out all the lifelines as well, now that I'm on the other half of this shawl, I'm going back and taking the lifelines out and reusing them. But I left this purple one in, and I don't know why, because that's after the halfway point. Because your halfway point is, it's easier to see on the reverse, but this is your that's your halfway point there. So this is past the halfway point. And then there's one missing here because I took it out and reused it. But oh my goodness, it's going to look so good when it's done. It's going to be so squishy, so oversized, perfect for the weather that we get here in winter. There's about 2 or 3 mistakes in it. I hold my hand up. I did not even try and fix them. Oh no, I tried to fix one. But you know, honestly, I can't even find them now. I tried to fix them. So I don't know why I said I didn't try and fix them. I did try and fix them because I was not frogging and going back to try and find them and fix them that way. But honestly, if I didn't have other projects, I'm just like, I need to work on that. This would be getting finished. So squishy. So I am not sure what needle size. Do I have a needle gauge in here? No. My needle gauge has been going back and forth from this room to the kitchen because that's where I keep my needles. And apparently it's now officially back there in the kitchen. But I want to say, right, this project's on 4s. So I would say it's a 4. What I'm doing right now is I'm holding 2 needles together and I'm rubbing them side by side. They feel the same. Yeah, I'm going to say 4. And I'm working with 2 gorgeous yarns which are running low, and I'm getting nervous, but I'm on the decrease and I need to keep reminding myself that. This is from Woo Sheeps. This was one of their 150-gram balls of yarn. There is a gorgeous Stellina sparkle to this yarn, And then this one is from a dyer that is no longer dyeing. This is Queen of Pearls, who were based out of Glasgow. Don't know what the colorway is, but again, this was also a 150 gram ball of yarn, which is approximately 600 meters. And I just thought these two went really well together. And to be perfectly honest, these were also the only yarns that had enough yardage or meterage for this project. So they were going together whether they went together or not. To be perfectly honest, like that is how I see things. So let's get this folded up a bit nice so that it fits in the bag, because it's in a very small bag for how big it is now. Get all those ends in, all those lifelines tucked in. Because if I'm not careful, something's getting put into the zipper that shouldn't be. In my amazingly cute Baby Yoda bag. Isn't he adorable? Okay, let's check that one out. Okay. I'm just going to go from the one that's closest. Like, I'm not showing these off in any particular order. This is my Cozy Memories blanket, or Coziest Memories blanket by Kemper Ray. And I'm honestly trying to get a square added a week. I didn't add one last week. I will sit down and put one on this week. But these are my two newest squares. Oh, excuse me, sorry. I've got my solid and my variegated, and today I will be adding a solid. I don't think these two need to be shown off, but I also don't know why I wouldn't have taken the stitch markers out. I tried to leave the stitch markers in to show which ones haven't been shown on the podcast, and these two have stitch markers, so I know for a fact these two have been put in recently. I just don't know if the last time I showed this off, these two have been seen. So there's a possibility since the last time I showed this blanket off, 4 new ones have been added. But I'm only going to really say 2 because I don't know. I don't know for certain. I don't write notes. I don't do pre-planning. I record on the fly as and when the whim takes me. I do not pre-plan anything. I don't write down my notes. I don't have a curated podcast. This is just not me. So you get 2 new squares. This is definitely going to be a long-term project. I am very happy with the width. I'd say this is definitely like a single size. And at the moment, I'd say it's a really good lap blanket for me because I sit cross-legged. Like, used to be 90% of the time, but my joints are kind of like really not happy. My joints are aging well quicker than my personality, let's put it that way. And so I'm sitting about cross-legged 80% of the time now. And so it's a great lap blanket for me personally. But obviously, it needs to be longer. I can't really leave it at that length, especially for the days where I cannot sit cross-legged. I'd say it comes, stretching one leg out in front of me just now, I'd say it comes down to my shin, high shin, but still my shin. So let's see, 1 square, 2 square, 3 square. I'd say it definitely needs to be at least 5 rows longer. And then some. Because I'd like it to be like a nap blanket. Because I'm realising how good naps are again. Right, let's get this tucked into its yarn bowl. Put the needles back in so they don't get lost. We'll go with the next blanket. And this is one where I have started the 4th column. Started with this one, then I think I moved on to that one, then it was this one, and now we're on to here. This is another scrappy blanket project, and this is all in sock yarn scraps, and I have a lot of sock yarn scraps. I'm looking at 2 IKEA Ziploc bags and then some. One of the bags I have weighed out all the yarn. I wanted to see like how much I was going to be putting into this project. And the other bag I found while I was going through my projects for like what I was going to make in autumn and winter. And I found a bag full of scraps. So if I go to use those ahead of some of the other ones, because they're bigger scraps, I'd say they're about 50 grams compared to the other ones, I need to weigh those and take a photo as I put it into the project. But I'm on to my 4th column. This has slightly lost momentum, again, just because of some of the projects I'm working on at the moment that really have taken my fancy. And what I'm doing is, first of all, I have made this project up as I go along. It is very similar to a pattern that is out there just now that a designer put a lot of hard time and effort into. But I just wanted a simple column strip blanket given the size of my scraps. I've then, so you can see the join on this column, but you're not seeing it on this one. It's on the reverse. And then you're seeing it on this column. And the reason for that difference is because that's my bind off edge. That's my cast on edge. Bind off, cast on. I didn't want one side of the blanket to be more skewed in because that's all the cast on, and then the other side be skewed out. So I didn't want my blanket to essentially, I'm trying to have my hands straight onto the camera, I didn't want my blanket to be like this. I didn't want it to shape out. I wanted it to be straight up and down. And so I'm alternating cast on, cast off, cast on, cast off. And because of that, I have seam, no seam, seam. No seam, seam, no seam. And that's just the way this whole blanket is going to be. This is very lightweight. I am making this in a bigger needle size than you would expect for a fingering weight yarn. It's either a cat hair or a bit of yarn fluff. I'd say this is being done in like a 4.5. Again, don't have my needle gauge with me. But I'm estimating a 4.5 when for socks, I would be doing my socks in 2.25. But I like a tight fabric for my socks. Some people knit with a 2.5, 2.75 for their socks, whereas I do mine in a 2.25. So it's light, it's airy, but it's going to be so warm. And I'm doing 30 stitches per column. Slip the first. Even on the join side, I'll slip the first, and then I'm doing like a SSK to join them together. Eventually, this is going to be a really awesome fingering weight sock yarn blanket. Oh, and scrappy, of course. Okay, we'll do this one next, and then I only have 2 left. This one is very cramped. It's on a small circular needle. I need to get a slightly bigger needle. But at the same point, I like working on a smaller needle. This is the Otra cardigan with no colour work. And the Otra is by Skandir Knits. This is being knit out of Rowan Valley tweed. which is don't have the best lighting in this room right now. Come on, camera, do your thing. No? Seriously? Oh, maybe. Okay, you get the point. I am, let me remember. I want to say 3.25. It's either 3.25 or 3mm needles I'm doing this at. And guess what? I gauge swatched. I soaked the swatch and I blocked the swatch. I didn't just do my usual knit it, smooth it out, measure it, and frog. I actually properly swatched, and I swatched in the round. That was interesting. I soaked my swatch. I blocked it, let it dry, and then I measured it because on my initial needle size, which I think was 3.5, I hit gauge. I had 6 stitches per inch. Oh, I've got 10% battery left on my phone. I had 6 stitches per inch and I hit gauge. But then when I blocked it, I went out of gauge. I was no longer hitting gauge. And one of the reasons I definitely followed the correct blocking procedure is because I have no idea how this yarn was going to react when it was blocked. And so I didn't want to spend all this time and effort and steek my first ever project only for everything to go completely awry and really, really bad. So yeah, I blocked a swatch. And because of that, I figured out that I needed to go down a needle size. And here we are. So there's no colour work. This is a colour work cardigan. I have omitted the colour work. It is a steeked cardigan. And I'm doing the steek. I'm so like already I'm like excited, nervous for when that part comes. But yeah, not much to say at the moment. Just need to knit until I would split for the sleeves, and I have enough yarn for this project. I have more than enough yarn. I'm still in the first ball of yarn as well. I feel like that's quite a good amount of knitting for still being in the first ball. But that could be because I'm comparing it to my anchor sweater, which had like 50-gram ball and was only like 125 meters a ball, whereas this is considerably more meterage for the weight of yarn or the weight of the ball. Excuse me. So yeah, I'm gonna try and rush the next bit just because I do have like probably like 8% now. My last project comes with a disclaimer. This is the West Knits Mystery Musicale crochet along, knit along. So if you do not want to see it, now is your time to stop watching or skip ahead. I'll try and remember to put timestamps in. If I don't, I do apologise. But this is your warning. I'm going to show off my progress. So I am still working Clue 2. And this is where I have gotten to. Now it is a bit cramped on some needles. Try and smooth out a wee bit, spread out my stitches. This is where I've got to. The purple yarn is by Lola Bean Yarn Co. The white is Knit Picks. I think I want to say like Bear. And then this kind of like pinky orangey colour. You'll see it better on the reverse. This is by Calypso Ellen, or Mrs. Lamb's Yarns. And then this one here is just a random maker I found on Etsy who was closing down their store and reopening it under another name. But I honestly didn't pay much attention after that because their customer service was abysmal. So don't know who it is. They didn't send like a ball band or anything. And I could probably go through my Etsy, but honestly, not going to. Don't recommend them. Just because of their customer service. Their yarn's lovely. So yeah, this is clue 2 here. This is all clue 1. Not a huge fan of the welts, but that's just me personally. But I am loving clue 2. Like these squiggles. Really, really loving clue 2. So yeah, that's all I'll say on it. I'm knitting mine on, that's all I'll say on it. Here's more information. I'm knitting mine on a 4mm needle. I did start it on like a 3.5, but then I saw how loose he was knitting in the video and I thought, I'm going to go up to a 4. And I'm glad I did. Really, really glad I did. So this is the project that has my attention at the moment, but with my wrists being as bad as they are, not always getting work done on it, which really sucks because it's a project I really want to work on. But I'll take what I can get. I'll take what knitting I can squeeze in without being in pain or pins and needles, because it's not fun. Like, why would I force myself to do something when I'm physically in pain? But yeah, 46, nearly 47 minutes. I was going to blether, but I'll blether in the vlog. That took me a minute. So if you're curious as to what additional stuff I have to say, tune into the vlog. Not sure which will come out first, the vlog or this podcast. But yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. If you have taken the time to watch, put a sun emoji in the comments down below, or any other comments you have. Let's start a conversation in the comments. And until my next video, please do stay safe and happy crafting. Bye everyone.